Hi, welcome to the step-by-step installation video of a jet thruster micro. Before you start planning your installation, we recommend downloading the illustrated and informative manual from our website, so together with this video you are prepared for a successful installation of your new jet thruster micro.
Let's unbox and get started. A jet thruster micro comes as a complete kit, ready for installation. Any additional required part can simply be ordered online.
We have created a complete kit of all required parts. You can start the installation process right out of the box.
First, the heart of the system, the pump unit. This high-volume single battery-powered water pump sucks in water and expels it through discharge outlets we call nozzles. This very compact unit can be placed anywhere in the boat, on a flat or sloped surface with a mandatory position under the water line. Let's take a close look at the pump. It's casted from high-impact strength polyamide. The unit itself is prefabricated and ready for installation out of the box. Just connect it with the provided battery cable to the dedicated battery. On the side a handle is present to operate the knife valve. Normally this valve is always open, but for maintenance and safety reasons the jet thruster system can be closed. Sensors will record if the valve is opened or closed and will relay this to the LED on the control panel. At the front side of the pump two outlet hose connectors are present. The hose which is included in the box will connect with it and lead directly to the nozzles. On the backside electrical connections, sensors and pump casing for the knife valve are present. At the side and underside of the IP cover, the waterproof connections for the control cables are present. A prefabricated cable assembly is provided in the installation kit. The spacer will allow you to elevate the pump 10 mm from the hull. In case of an uneven hull surface, this spacer can be sanded to a custom fit. Position of nozzles.
For the installation we are about to show, a small bow section requires some technical creativity. As all threaded parts are straight BSP threaded and sealed in place with a polyurethane, there are many ways to place the parts. Placing a jet thruster assembly in general comes down to basic fitting of through-hull parts. Use the installation suggestions to see which setup is best for your installation. An important step is to dry fit the components before you apply the adhesive sealant. In case you experience a too narrow bow, you can place one nozzle more forward than the other. This allows you to more easy connected the ball valve and 45-degree elbows. Hoses can cross over each other. We've created easy-to-use templates which allow you to select the correct nozzle version. Obviously you have to provide the correct angle before ordering. You can download these templates from our website. Drilling holes for the nozzles and water inlet is done with standard hole saws. The installation kit provides a dedicated set. No need to buy them from the hardware store. After the optimum nozzle position has been determined, you can start drilling the 64 mm hole. Compared to any other bow thruster system, jet thruster nozzles offer the smallest hole penetration on the market. Great for wooden boats and in this example super easy drilling them into the fiberglass. Use a vibrating saw to cut out the pieces of fiberglass in a 3-step process. Remember to make the first horizontal cut above the pilot hole. This hole acts as center for your extended drill bit. In the final step, the hole saw will penetrate the hull. The extended drill bit allows you to drill horizontal although having a bow section with an angle. Remember to keep the drill horizontal. This means you are actually creating a small oval, which later on allows the nozzle tube to be horizontal installed. You can now dry fit the composite nozzle. The nozzle flange will perfectly fit onto the hull. Note, edges may be sharp or still a bit uneven. On the inside of the boat you may need to smoothen the edges with a file. In case of a retrofit, you probably have anti-fouling present on the hull. Polyurethane adhesive such as Sikaflex 291 does not adhere to that. This layer of anti-fouling must be removed first. Use a sharp utility knife to mark the outline of the nozzle flange. Use any sharp tool to remove anti-fouling. Brake cleaner allows you to degrease. Roughen the surface with sandpaper and thoroughly clean. Depending on the hull and actual nozzle position, you may or may not need the provided 45-degree elbows. When nozzle and load-bearing collar and backing nut are in place, you can decide if excessive nozzle length should be cut off from the nozzle itself. This will create space for the parts of the nozzle assembly and will make the fitting process more easy. Make measurements of the thread length and cut nozzle to length. Reverse the nut and fix the nozzle in a vise. A standard metal saw blade will easily cut through the material. The flat surface of the nut will guide the blade and this will ensure a straight cut. Now you can remove the nut from the nozzle. Clean and remove any burrs. A jet thruster installation basically comes down to fitting parts. We work with straight BSP threaded components. Later on in the process, the polyurethane adhesive allows the position of parts in any position. For a professional result, a few layers of epoxy primer are applied to seal the fiberglass edges on the inside of the boat, and for further enhancement of the bonding surface. Before nozzles and parts are fixed in place with the polyurethane adhesive, it's recommended to route and cut hoses to length. Use a sharp knife to cut through the hose. Pliers are used to cut through the wire. Place the hose. A jet thruster micro installation kit provides 10 meter, or 33 feet of flexible rubber reinforced hose. This allows you the placement the pump anywhere in the boat at a maximum distance of 5 meter of 16 feet from the nozzle section. We now look at the pump position and pump placement. It's important to select a place under the waterline. A jet thruster pump is not self-priming centrifugal pump. By placing it under the waterline, the water pressure from outside the hull will prime the pump. At the preferred position for the pump, there must be at least 15 cm or 6 inches of draft. After placing the pump, and marking the spacer ring position, the 89 mm water inlet hole can be drilled. Use the dedicated hole saw from the kit. Before you drill the pilot hole, and main 89 mm hole, check the outside of the hull for any obstructions. Make sure the outside diameter of the water inlet flange does not pose any problem. Repeat the same process of preparing the hull for the adhesive, similar to the nozzle section as shown earlier. Like mentioned before, use your technical creativity. In order to have a secure position of the 12 volts Optima battery, we have created a dedicated shelf, made from waterproof plywood. Note, the battery must be placed directly next to the pump. Do not extend the provided battery cable. Now it's time to fix the nozzles in place. First, clean and use a generous amount of polyurethane adhesive. The bonding capacity of this sealant is impressive. You have to cover the backside of the flange completely. Excessive adhesive will simply be pressed out when you tighten the 2-inch nut. As shown, you can apply sealant onto the load-bearing collar as well. After 24 hours there will be a permanent, very strong and secure bonding. With large pliers you can tighten the nut. The excessive sealant will now be pressed out from underneath the flange. Use wet wipes to remove the excessive sealant from edges of the flange. After the adhesive has cured, the composite nozzle flange can be painted with anti-fouling. As a result, you now see the very small nozzle opening of only 50 mm in diameter. Ball valves and hose connectors are part of the nozzle assembly. All threaded parts are first cleaned with brake cleaner. Apply polyurethane sealant on the male and female threaded sides. Inspect if there is no excessive bead of adhesive inside the ball valve and hose connector. 2 stainless hose clamps are provided for each connection. Because every hull has a different thickness, the water inlet must be cut to length. The pump comes with a 3-inch stainless metal inlet bushing. The water inlet is being inserted from the outside of the hull into the pump. This provides a high mechanical strength. All threads of the pump inlet bushing must be used to reach maximum bonding strength between the parts. The installation manual provides information how to determine the correct length based upon an easy calculation. Same as the nozzles, the inlet can be cut to length with help of the provided 3-inch backing nut. After, all parts must be cleaned. The actual seal is made with polyurethane sealant. The flange of the water inlet will cover the previous drilled hole. Because the fiberglass was uneven in this boat, the spacer was prepared and sanded to ensure a flat base on which the pump will sit. Again, polyurethane is used to ensure a waterproof seal and durable connection. When applying the sealant, use protective gloves and cover the entire threaded surface. The backside of the flange is covered with polyurethane sealant. Excessive sealant will be pressed out later. Now you can put the pump in place. Make sure one person holds the pump in place over the hole. Hoses which were prepared earlier are placed on the hose connectors. Another person must insert the water inlet from underneath the boat. A dedicated tool is provided which enables you turning the inlet into the bushing of the pump. With a long wrench you can apply the force required to fix the pump in place. The pump is securely in place when you cannot turn the water inlet part any further. After the pump has been fixed in place, hose clamps are tightened. Jet thruster pump motors are high wattage DC components. A dedicated battery is required. It's recommended to use an Optima battery. This battery is able to deliver a high cold crank amp output. It can be discharged deeper compared to standard batteries. Together with their relative small size, they are the preferred battery to power the Jet Thruster Micro. The attached battery cable and terminals are pre-installed in our factory. Do not extend battery cable. Place the battery in close proximity of the pump. High-quality parts such as the A&L fuse holder, terminals and protective caps are included in the installation kit. Setting up the controls is very easy. The installation kit provides a plug-and-play cable set. The control box needs a 12-volt power source. Connect the control box to a service battery or starter battery. From the control box, 2 cables will connect with the pump. Joystick controls connect to the third cable. The installation manual will provide info towards maximum cable length and possible extensions. Use the drill template and provided hole saw to place the control panel at your dash or helm station.